Okay, so we're gonna go in release order here. So maybe we'll start with some pretty low stakes stuff. We'll start with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I think this is fine. Like, I think Country Returns is actually great. I think it's closer to the quality of Tropical Freeze than a lot of people think. Like, I don't think Tropical Freeze is some, amazing masterpiece in comparison to Returns. Like, I think they're pretty close, honestly. That being said, the port, not the best from Forever Entertainment, but also I did have fun playing it again. I'm happy it's on the Switch. It just feels like such a low stakes release. Not necessarily focusing on the port itself so much. I would say it's like a B tier. If you really linger on it being like not an amazing port or anything or do anything too revolutionary, maybe C tier. But I would put it at B. $60, maybe should have been 50 or something. But I would put that in B. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that is a good kind of middle ground. It's a great game, great game. Kind of a weird port, but also like, I don't know, it's fine, Also, I gotta do it right now. We gotta add an F tier. What way are we ranking these? I'm just ranking them based on my personal enjoyment of them. There's no like true objectivity here. If I see Bonanza in A and Hyrule Warriors in S, I may or may not crash out. Well, Hyrule Warriors will be above Bonanza. I will tell you that. I think what's so weird about this year for me is like, I don't think anything actually deserves S tier. Mario Kart should, if they didn't do the intermission stuff. Like, if Mario Kart World didn't have the intermissions, it would be an easy S. But obviously, that's an integral part of the design, which hampers it. There are other games I enjoyed more than Mario Kart World this year, but even then, I don't know if I would put those in S tier. And then Xenoblade X, I don't really want to rank that because I didn't play it enough. Based on my experience with it, I'd probably also give it a B tier, but I'm gonna leave that off. That's the one game I'm really gonna leave off this list because I don't want to be unfair to it. I did not give it the full playthrough treatment. Seen a lot of people catch on that we added F tier for a specific game. So we'll do Mario Kart World. I would give Mario Kart World an A tier. I think Mario Kart World is a very good game. Even with its issues, I still really enjoy it. But I do acknowledge those issues. I think intermissions just not what I want necessarily from a Mario Kart game. I do respect that they did something different with it to differentiate it from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is so incredible and has so much content. But I think what is really stopping Mario Kart World from being an S tier is we need some DLC. Once this game gets its updates and it's like done, end of life. Yeah, Metroid Jones said it in chat. It's going to be an S tier game in 2031. Like, this is going to end up being an S tier, true S tier Mario Kart game, because like the new mechanics they added, I think are so good. It makes racing so much more fun, being able to hop on the rails. I had a great time with it, even 100%ing it. I did all the P switches. I did everything in this game. I got all the stamps and all the different little icons and everything. Like, I 100%ed Mario Kart World. I have like 80 hours in it. I haven't played it much since launch, but that's because, well, when you go online, you got to do intermissions, And I don't want to really do that. Knockout Tour is really fun as well. I think that's maybe what makes the intermissions even more frustrating for me is like, you already have Knockout Tour. You didn't need to make the other races also kind of like that in terms of the straightaways and everything. If this game just had 3-lap tracks racing online and then also Knockout Tour, it would be the perfect bowl of food. Like, I would be so happy with Mario Kart World. But because I go online and I don't know if I'm going to get an intermission track or an actual 3-lap track like I'm used to in Mario Kart, it's not the best experience, but it is still a great game. They made a great package. It's a great foundation for them to build upon. I think we'll get some sort of big Donkey Kong expansion DLC next year. And I think that'll really turn this game around quite a bit, to the point where I bet even in 6 months, I'd be willing to put it here. But right now, we got to let them improve a little bit. And honestly, now that I'm looking at this, I'm already thinking about moving stuff around. Maybe Donkey Kong's actually C tier. Maybe that's C tier. Yeah, I think that's C tier. If we're putting Mario Kart World in A tier, I would put Donkey Kong Country Returns in C tier, weighing in what it is as a port, a remaster, if you want to call it that, HD remaster. A lot of the issues with Mario Kart World, I mean, they're already doing a lot to fix it. There was a patch like, a week ago that lets you actually do races with friends, but also with randoms. They added a checklist so you can see what P switches you've done and like count them on the map. They've been slowly doing a lot to fix it, but it's just like, why wasn't it launched with that stuff, Even like, what was it in the most recent update? There's a setting for the sound now, but it's some weird Nintendo ass thing where it's like you can make it quiet or loud or whatever. It's like an actual like volume slider. It's like, why? The soundtrack's fantastic though. I love the soundtrack. Maybe one of the best soundtracks of the year. Kind of surprised it wasn't nominated for best OST this year, because it's not just remixes. There's a lot of great new songs in there, as well as the remixes, and it's all like contextual to the map and everything. Like, there's so much good about Mario Kart World, but I gotta give it A tier. A for intermission. So we already talked about this a little bit. I do like Welcome Tour. However, I like it through the context of like it's not that serious, right? It's just this is just a little silly $10 eShop game. I don't think it's that high stakes, but for what it was for $10, I had fun with it, which is why it's an S tier. Obviously, it's an S tier. This is one of the best games Nintendo's ever made. It's the best EPD4 project we've ever had. I really learned a lot about the Switch 2 through this software, which is why I'm actually putting it in D tier. I have nothing against Welcome Tour, but it's just a little instruction manual game, you know? Like, am I gonna rank it above Donkey Kong Country Returns? No, absolutely not. It's fine. I don't think there's really anything wrong with it. It's just Wii Play mini games. But if I was putting Wii Play on this ranking list, Wii Play, even though I enjoy Wii Play, I'd probably put it in C or D tier. It's just not. It's not a high profile release. It's just low stakes. If you're a big Nintendo fan, I still recommend it at $10. If it was free on the Switch 2, would I put it higher? Probably not. You know, not even taking the pricing into the equation. Like, it's just, it is what it is. You know, I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's just like it's a Welcome Tour, man. Now we do have the 2 Zelda games here. Now this is why S tier exists. S tier exists for the Switch 1 games because Breath of the Wild is an S tier experience, and I think that Switch 2 patch makes it even more of an S tier experience. I think this might still be my favorite experience so far on the Switch 2. I had so much fun revisiting Breath of the Wild earlier this summer. The Switch 2 patch for this game, and I guess even though I haven't put too much time into the Tears patch, I'm also going to put that up there as well. These patches are so good. They're so good. The enhanced resolution, the better frame rate, it just makes some of my favorite games of all time run even better. Is it a little weird to be ranking these Switch 2 editions against the new actual releases? Maybe, but it is what it is, man. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, some of my favorite games of all time, they're going in S tier. I think these games are absolute masterpieces. They still hold up. I'm going to put Tears here. I guess we'll kind of order these, but if I replayed Tears fully on Switch 2, it'd be like that. But because I actually played Breath of the Wild on Switch 2 fully, I'm gonna put that there. I mean, these games feel so good on the Switch 2. Like, if you have not played them, oh my god. It's like, I'm so happy for you, you know? On the one hand, I'm happy that I get to replay them again with this and you know, enhanced visuals and everything. On the other hand, I kind of wish I could experience these games like this for the first time. I would say these are the best Switch 2 editions also, I guess, spoiler alert. They don't really add anything new. Zelda Notes is kind of a throwaway edition. It's fine, you know, they add some achievements in the app. That's kind of cool. Not really moving the needle much, Zelda Notes, that is. But the actual performance boost for these games is beautiful. And they're free if you have Switch Online, so I didn't even have to pay for these, even though I did, because I did buy the physicals. This was your first time playing Tears, and whoa, buddy, was it good. I'm so happy for you. The conversation around that game is weird, because some people just hate it, and they're like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. But then, like, usually when I see people talk about it now, it's usually through the lens of, like, actually, that's one of the best games ever made. And that makes me so happy, because I've been saying that since day one. A lot of people have kind of flip-flopped on it, but I've been a true TOTK warrior. Being able to play that for the first time on Switch 2, I'm sure is magical. But that is our launch lineup. Oh god. We got to talk about Bonanza. Now, I think most people, you're watching this video, you're watching the stream, whatever, you're probably putting Bonanza at S tier. It's probably your favorite Nintendo game of the year, and I'm so happy for those people. I, over time, having 100% of Bonanza, I 100% of this game, I did everything in it. I've slowly just kind of like thought less and less of it over the months, to the point where I would put it in B tier. I think this game, like, there's a lot of great stuff about Bonanza, and maybe I'm being a little harsh. Maybe it is like just lower A tier. But Bonanza, like, there's something about the fundamental design. You know, a lot of people talking about like the Breath of the Wild open-ended level design of Bonanza, or you know, of Breath of the Wild being put into this Donkey Kong game. I feel like that really harmed my experience with it. Like, especially when seeing so many comparisons of Bonanza to other 3D Mario games, because it is the same team. I don't think this game is anywhere close to that quality level. I don't think it's anywhere close, because the level design fundamentally is nowhere near as important as it is in those games. The movement's fun. I love hopping on a rock, doing a little surf move. Like, it's good stuff. But the level design, because you can just blast your way through everything, or just elephant suck everything especially, it all feels very unbalanced. And to me, the beauty of a 3D Mario game, but even Odyssey, which has moons everywhere, there's still a certain path. There's still a way you got to get a moon. Even if you just see a moon sitting somewhere randomly, it's like, okay, I'm going to go get over there using my cool move set. For most of the moons, or most of the bananas in Bonanza, it's just smash your way down. I would say, how many bananas are there in this game? 1,000? Or like you get 1,000, but it's actually like 890 or something, whatever it is. I would be willing to bet that like 300 of those you just randomly stumble upon while smashing through a mountain. So maybe I played the game wrong. Maybe I'll get slapped with the Doom Dark Ages, you control the buttons you press meme or whatever. But this game had too much freedom for me. I did not like the level of freedom that this game had. But there is a lot of great stuff there. The music's awesome. I think the ending is one of the best endings of any Nintendo game. I think the stuff they did there, I won't spoil what, but I mean, I'm sure you already know. Ending is phenomenal. And like the moveset, like I said, awesome. There's a lot of great stuff. But I think the core actual design of this game, fundamentally, I did not love. Voice acting's fun. I know a lot of people hate on the voice acting, but I actually thought, hearing Pauline talk was kind of cool. The different Bonanzas also, like Elephant Bonanza completely busted. I don't really know what they were thinking there. I mean, it's a single player game. It doesn't matter if it's busted, but also like it's so far and away the best Bonanza. It's just not even close, especially if you're going for 100% like I was. Like you just suck everything up. You erase the map. You get all the fossils without even thinking. So I completely understand people putting it S tier, putting it as their game of the year. I would put it in B tier though. The further we get from that game's release, I just kind of think, My opinion of it is not getting fonder as the days go on. It's only slipping even more and more. It's funny thinking about Odyssey because one of the main criticisms when that game came out was like the moons don't feel rewarding to get because there are just so many of them. But then Bonanza comes out and the bananas are way less rewarding to get than the moons in Odyssey because you just stumble upon them completely randomly. But I didn't see really anybody talking about that of like, oh, they're not rewarding. It's like, at least Odyssey, you have to kind of think about it a little bit. You got to do some cool platforming challenge. In this, you literally stumble upon them most of the time in this game. One final thing I'll say on Bonanza, I also don't feel any attachment whatsoever to really any of the worlds. I don't care about any of them, Some of the best parts of like a 3D Mario game is like you're going to these specific galaxies in Mario Galaxy or you're doing the certain paintings in Mario 64 and they're so iconic. I don't feel strongly about any level in Bonanza. And I think that's because of the freedom and the level of destruction that you have in this game, which is a cool concept. But I think it really undermines the level design and makes each level just kind of feel like a big playground for you to destroy everything, which once again, I understand why a lot of people like that. Just not for me. Not for me as much as I was hoping it would be. Let's see how many dislikes does the stream have now that I said all that. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first F tier. Pokemon Friends. I didn't even cover this game on YouTube. I'm sure I reacted to the trailer or something, but Pokemon Friends just not. I mean, it's just nothing. It's kind of like Welcome Tour in that like it's inoffensive, but also like it's free to play garbage. But then you have all these packs you can buy. I don't know, man. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of these Pokemon free to play games, and just they're not good. They're not good. I played this game on Switch. I was really excited when they announced it because it was like, oh, they're putting one of these on console again. It's been a while. I think the last one before this was either Unites or Cafe Remix. And then I played this, and like we later found out it's like a reskin of some Chinese mobile game, isn't it, or something? Like it's literally a reskin. This game sucks. There's not much to say on it other than that it just sucks. Yeah, Friends is not good. Do not play Pokemon Friends. Don't even take the time to download it, even though it's free. Don't even bother. Dragon Drive about to clear. You know what? This is actually so interesting. We're about to go on like the worst streak of games Nintendo's released in a while because Jamboree TV is also F tier. It's above Pokemon Friends, but Jamboree TV is so annoying to me. You have this. You add some camera mini games and some mouse com mini games to Jamboree, and like that's cool. But then none of them are very fun, especially the camera stuff. The camera stuff is really bad. The mouse con mini games are fine. Like the one where you sort mail or whatever. Like that's cute. That's fine. You probably could have done that with just regular controls. What annoys me so much about Jamboree TV is the fact that they made it like a separate entity within Jamboree. So you load up the game, you have two menus, and the whole game is split into two now. And there's like different online queues for both of them. And it's just like, what? What happened? The microphone minigames suck. Like, this could have been awesome. This could have been such a slam dunk. And then there was also the stuff with, like, I think they might have later gone back and fixed it a little bit, but they didn't upgrade the main Jamboree mode, like, in terms of resolution, right? Wasn't that, like, a whole thing? So they added, like, a whole separate game on top of it, like a leech, and only that got the upgrades, and they, like, want you to play that, but then you can still play the old version. It was especially frustrating for me because I was, like, 100%ing it. I was doing all the challenges and everything. And then Jamboree TV is like this one separate thing, so it didn't even have any achievements or anything. It's just like it's a weird like little growth on top of Jamboree. I don't know, man. I think that is the worst Switch 2 edition they've done by far. With the Switch 2 editions, I mean, this was our first one that added content, so I guess it kind of painted a bad picture to begin with. But like By putting that art on it that you can see right there, you think, oh, this is going to be like Bowser's Fury or like a Sonic Shadow Generation situation. And they added like 10 mini games. Where are the new boards? You know, where are the new characters? Next up, we have Dragon Drive. Now, did I do a review of Dragon Drive? I definitely talked about it when I did my my preview in April. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. I think this is also a very bad game. I would say probably better than Pokemon Friends. Yeah, because Pokemon Friends just is stupid. Dragon Drive like actually has some intent in it. They tried, but it's the fact that they tried that almost makes it worse. You know, the controls of this game not good, really not fun to control. But even looking past that, like, okay, it's a $20 eShop game, it's inoffensive, whatever. I'm not like angry about Dragon Drive. I'm not like, you know, going on a rant on Twitter. But I guess the frustrating thing with this is like it could have been so much more, you know? We get our new IP with the Wii with Splatoon. We get our new IP with Switch with ARMS, and I love both of those games. And then here comes Dragon Drive, and it just feels so lifeless, you know? Where's the color? Where's the fun? The online basketball mode, not the best. Controlling it, like I said, not the best. I will say, I did get some enjoyment out of the little challenges of if you're in the park and you're doing them for the medals or whatever, like the times where it's like, you know, you have to race around the cones and not hit them to beat the challenge or whatever. Like there was some enjoyment had in this game, I would say, a very, very little amount. But overall, in terms of like a new Nintendo release, I think you have to go back very far to find a game that I would say, at least for me personally, is worse than Dragon Drive. I don't even know if I would put Amiibo Festival below it. I think Dragon Drive is really bad. At the end of the day, just an eShop title. I don't think this like impacts Nintendo's 2025 that heavily. Honestly, like it's low stakes still, but that doesn't excuse it from being bad. Like it's still a bad game. After that, we had another Switch 2 edition. We were in a little bit of a drought after Bonanza, where you had Pokemon Friends, Jamboree TV, and Dragon's Drive, and then also Forgotten Lands. However, thankfully, I actually just played Forgotten Lands very recently, specifically the Star-Crossed World content. I love Forgotten Land when it came out back in 2022, and I think this is, out of these two anyway, by far the better Switch 2 edition. The content here is actually pretty cool. Nothing groundbreaking, you know. I wasn't like moved by it or anything, but it was fun. Me and Olivia played through it co-op the other day. I still haven't done the like true arena that they added. If we're ranking it inclusive of Forgotten Land itself and it looking way prettier now, higher resolution, it would be like here for me. Or maybe even here. I think Forgotten Land is truly a fantastic game. Like one of my favorite 3D platformers of all time. However, I want to rank this more on the new content side of things. And Star-Crossed World, while it was good, I feel like they could have done more. So I don't know, low B, probably high C, you know? Once again, it's just like a lot of what Nintendo put out this year kind of just feels low stakes, low, I don't want to say low effort, but like just Star-Crossed World, high C, it's probably fair. Something that was kind of frustrating playing through it with Olivia, I don't remember this from the base game, but I feel like there were so many times where I got into a mouthful mode playing as Kirby, and then she couldn't do anything, like playing co-op. I don't know, this game isn't really designed for co-op, but I don't remember that happening so frequently in the base game. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like the co-op experience was a lot better for the base Forgotten Land versus Star-Crossed World. But also the way the levels are, you're just going on like this alternate path. Like it's pretty, it's cool. For $20, that feels a little steep for what it is. Now, if we're talking the entire package, yes, I highly recommend Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World. If you have not played it, S tier game. I love this game. But just Star-Crossed World, I would say, is like here, probably, maybe even below Country Returns. $20, it's like 2 to 3 hours of content. Not amazing, but still a lot better than Jamboree TV. Certainly. Hopefully Bella Bell Park next year ends up being even better. Hopefully these Switch 2 editions that add new content get significantly better, because so far I would say they've been just kind of like either bad or just fine, you know, inoffensive for Star-Crossed World. Mario Galaxy. So to be fair, I didn't play through these on Switch 2. I played a little bit of each. I think I talked about it earlier. I think I played like maybe an hour of Galaxy 2 and like maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour of Galaxy 1. It's Galaxy 1 and 2. I think Galaxy 1, a little overrated in general. I think Galaxy 2 is a better game. Haven't played either of them in full for a very long time. Galaxy, the last time I played it to completion was when 3D All-Stars came out. and Galaxy 2 I have not played in full in over a decade. If I was just rating the games on like their quality though, I mean, yeah, easily A tier. These kind of came and went, which is weird. Like I know they're still just ports, but you would think ports of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 would be a way bigger deal, and it didn't feel like that. You know? This game just kind of came out and came and went. That's not like nothing against the quality of the game though. I guess I would put it in A tier just for what it is, right? I'm happy they're on Switch 2 and on Switch 1. I'm happy I have a way to play Galaxy 2 forever now, but also nothing crazy, you know. It's just Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. It has to be B or C. You put Galaxy 1 and 2 and B or C. I don't know. Maybe I'm not being too consistent with my ranking of ports. If I'm putting these in S tier, but also these did a lot to like the performance of the games. And I definitely like Galaxy 1 and 2 more than Bonanza. I'd put it in A. I'll put it below Mario Kart World though, because it is just a remaster. We have Pokemon. So I'm sitting it here right now while I talk. I'm not putting it in B. Maybe. We'll talk it through. I like Legends ZA a lot more than most people, I think. I was very positive on this game when it came out. I still am very positive, maybe a little less so than when I first played it, but I think Legends ZA is awesome. Definitely has a lot of issues. I think Lumiose is a miss overall. Like the side quests and everything you're doing in Lumiose, running around Lumiose is fun, but it all does kind of look the same, right? Not going to sit here and say the game's super ugly or anything. I think it looks fine. Definitely issues, pacing issues with like doing the Rogue Megas over and over, but having another Legends game, open kind of freeform catching, having the real-time combat, I think was really refreshing for Pokemon. Yeah, maybe this is B, but maybe it's right above Bonanza. Legends ZA is going to be above Bonanza. I had more fun with Legends ZA than Bonanza, 100%, like without a doubt. I would even go as far, I think I had more fun with it than Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World is clearly a higher quality game though. So it feels weird putting it above that. It's hard to like rank these things with like just your personal taste, but also objectivity. But like I had a lot of fun with Legends ZA. So maybe it's A tier, personal taste. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the way. It'd probably be A tier then, honestly. Not S tier. Not S tier, certainly. That's reserved for the GOAT Legends Arceus and Black and White. But yeah, I would say A tier for Legends ZA. Out of every Nintendo game I played this year, I think I enjoyed it the most. Not Breath of the Wild notwithstanding. But I think that just goes to the entire year feeling a little off. Like I think this entire year was like a little just not quite as good as we hoped. I was hoping the first Switch 2 Pokemon game was going to be like the big amazing Pokemon game that was going to be the best Pokemon game ever. And the reality is it's really great in my opinion, but it's not quite as good as Arceus. Mario Kart World, obviously not exactly what we wanted, but still really good. Bonanza, for most people would be S tier, but for me, not quite. Next up, we have Hyrule Warriors. Metroid Jones in chat just talking about me putting an S tier. So I love Warriors games. I've become even more in love with them over the past year. I would absolutely at least put it here. The question then becomes, is it better than Legends ZA? Did I enjoy it more than Legends ZA? I think, is it a better game than Legends ZA? Probably. I think Age of Imprisonment is just so good. Like, it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun, dude. I started getting more into Warriors games. I got starting with the Nintendo Warriors stuff, but like even when I was a kid, I played Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires with my brother or whatever. And then this year, Dynasty Warriors Origins. The thing is, I actually think Dynasty Warriors Origins is better than Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. But Age of Imprisonment, maybe it's because I didn't have the highest expectations going into it because I was so burnt on Age of Calamity that my perception of the game is higher because it actually ended up delivering. Age of Calamity was so disappointing to me. Three Hopes obviously came out, and that, I mean, Three Hopes is god tier. Three Hopes is god tier. I think Three Hopes is still better than Age of Imprisonment. And then Age of Imprisonment comes out. I had low expectations for it. I didn't really want another tie-in specifically with the Breath of the Wild characters. But then also like ending this era of Zelda with this game, it feels like the perfect like final send-off with all these characters. We finally get to see more of Rauru and a little bit of Sonya, not too much. There's still definitely some stuff to be desired in terms of the roster, I think, with Ganondorf. But I mean, it's definitely up here. I would say it's a toss between these two. Someone said earlier that Age of Imprisonment is maybe the most consistent game they released this year. I 100% agree with that. Like, if you don't like Warriors games, that's fine. It's not for you then. But if you like Warriors games, this game, the movesets, dude. Minoru's moveset in this game is so much fun when she goes on like the big Ultra Hand construct thing that you make and she just starts rolling over enemies, dude. It's so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. I just know, like, I'm going to post this on Twitter after and people are going to, like, their eyes are going to be twitching. Like, bro, put Hyrule Warriors above Mario Kart. Yeah, Legends ZA is awesome. There's definitely stuff to criticize, but I just had a really good time with that. The story, we didn't really talk about the story too much, but like the story in that game is definitely one of the better stories in a Pokemon game. And also as a huge X and Y fan, like finally getting a lot of the stuff resolved or at least continued with AZ and just, you know, Lumiose, like that's nice. I was really happy to finally have that because we never got Z. We were robbed of some sort of like follow-up Kalos game. And then while this doesn't fully scratch that itch because it's not Kalos, it's Lumiose, I was very happy to see that happen. See the Gen 6 Pokemon get some love like they deserve. My GOAT Gen 6 starters. um I would put Kirby Air Riders in low B. I respect that Sakurai made another Kirby Air Ride game. And in terms of really fleshing out Kirby Air Ride, I think he did a fantastic job. However, I've learned that I just don't think I like Kirby Air Ride that much. I'm happy it exists. It's cool that it got a sequel. Like that's one of those like cool Nintendo fan things of like, oh, we got to see what a Kirby Air Ride is. Like that's really cool. But I feel no desire to go back to this game or even 100% it. Which even Bonanza, I did 100% Bonanza, right? Like I had a lot of fun with Bonanza, even with my issues with it. It's not that like I don't like the gameplay. Air Ride I think is kind of boring. Road Trip I think is really boring. City Trial is the main event, and City Trial is a lot of fun. But how much do I really need to get out of City Trial? You know, like I played City Trial all weekend, the weekend that game came out, and then I was like, okay, me and my friends, we had our fun with it, and none of them have played it since. I haven't played it since, and we're like good with that. And there's nothing wrong with it being a B tier game. Like I had a good time with Air Riders, but it's not a game I really feel a desire to go back to or revisit. I'm not gonna look super fondly on it, you know, in terms of like Nintendo's overall years of the Switch era, Switch 2 era. Like when we talk about 2025's launch year of Switch 2, yeah, Kirby Air Riders will come up and I'll be like, oh yeah, I had fun with that. I guess maybe similar to ARMS, although I actually got way more out of ARMS than Kirby Air Riders. I think what this game was missing is some sort of like leveling system or like a ranking system for City Trial, something more than just the achievement board. Because when you're doing the challenges, you don't even need to go for them. They just pop up. You do all of them over the course of a weekend and you have most everything done. And then it gets a little bit more specific, but it's not rewarding. You know, you're just doing matches, you're getting challenges for stuff you didn't even know was a challenge. But it's cool. I'm glad it exists. But I definitely got way more out of Mario Kart World, personally. Metroid Prime 4. Before I say my piece on Prime 4, which I already did my review. I'm sure most of you have seen it. Where would you guys rank Metroid Prime 4 on a tier list of like, you know, D through S or whatever? I'm curious what you all would put this at, because I feel like there are so many people that are like in love with it and they're like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted, another Metroid Prime game, A tier, S tier Metroid Prime game. A lot of people that are kind of disappointed put it in B, some people put it in C, some people would put it in F at the bottom below Pokemon Friends. I think that's too much. I think it's got to be somewhere in the middle. I personally would put it at high C. I would put it above Donkey Kong Country Returns. I'd put it below Kirby Air Riders. I think Metroid Prime 4 is okay. As someone who does not love Prime to begin with, I think it's just more of Prime, but also it has a lot of really baffling design decisions. I'm really happy for the people that have been waiting for so long for it and they really loved it, and like that's awesome. I'm so happy they got what they wanted. I think for me, coming into a new Prime game, as someone who loves 2D Metroid and as someone who especially loved Metroid Dread was so good. I wanted Retro to really modernize it in a way that I don't want to just say made it more actiony, because that's what Other M is, but something that would just kind of change it up a little bit, increase the pacing of it. And they try to do some new stuff here with Soul Valley and the desert and the bike. And I don't think that stuff is as bad as people are saying it is, but it's also not good either. The desert is just completely empty. It's just nothing. There's nothing to do there. And it's even funnier when you think about like, there's just 6 shrines. there's just 6 shrines you do with some puzzles, and then you get some more green crystals, and it's like, why is this even in the game? It felt like they needed to have a new idea quota or something. They had to fill that out, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna make it open world. We're gonna have this hub, new idea quota achieved, and then they just did the bare minimum. The desert could be cool. The desert could have been great. I was optimistic when they revealed it, but they just didn't do enough with it. And then, people have really harped on the fact that you have to keep going back to Fury Green to get miles to install your upgrades, which is, backtracking. That's a part of Metroid. That's part of Metroid Prime especially. But there's a difference in backtracking in Metroid Prime 1 and backtracking across an empty desert just to go load into a zone and then talk to the guy and then leave again. Like that, those are different things. At least when you're backtracking through all the different areas in Prime 1, it's like, okay, there's like actual level design here. And this is just a big empty desert. So I think it's C tier. I had some fun with it. I think it gets better as it goes on, actually, in terms of the linear areas, which I know is not the popular opinion. I know everybody loves Fury Green and Volt Forge certainly, That's where the game peaks in terms of its artistic direction and music and everything. Ice Belt seems to be a fan favorite area in this game. I really did not like Ice Belt, specifically with the little hex codes that you have to get. I really did not like that at all, actually. But then like halfway through Ice Belt, when you're like leaving through Flare Pool or Flame Pool, whatever it's called, into the mines, like I think those are the best sections of the game. I really actually did like that stuff. It's very linear, certainly, but meeting the different characters, the NPCs, not my issue with the game. I think the NPCs were actually pretty cool. Miles McKenzie having radio chatter while you're driving around, telling you exactly what to do, is certainly a bad thing, right? Like, there's a point in the game where you have to find a character in the desert, and it'll give you something, and before you even know that you need to do that, or you think like, okay, I need to go find something. As soon as you leave that area, Miles McKenzie's just like, yeah, go find this character. He'll give you what you need. It's like, bro, let me find it, you know? It's weird because I think growing Metroid Prime as a series, or Metroid as a series, I think you got to have the Galactic Federation in there. I think that is good. I want to see them try it again, but I just feel like they need to implement it a little bit better. And then the ending, I don't want to get too much into spoilers here. I couldn't believe the ending of this game. I could not believe the ending. You build up these NPCs the whole game, and then the game ends the way it does. I couldn't believe it. To some people, maybe it was a good thing if you don't like the NPCs, but to me, as someone who was a little bit more, I was kind of into it. We had Bonanza at the beginning of the year, or middle of the year, at the beginning of the Switch 2 life cycle, being like one of the best endings of any Nintendo game ever, in my opinion. And then Prime 4, maybe one of the worst endings of any game I've ever played. The final boss was fine, I guess. But yeah, Prime 4 has its moments, certainly. There is some merit there. I was hoping for more, especially in terms of like modernizing the combat, speeding it up a little bit, and they just didn't do that. So yeah, I would say C tier. Maybe, honestly. Gotta put respect on the GOAT. Country Returns. It's below that, I think. Just a lot of baffling decisions. Like I'm playing the game and something happens, and I'm literally just sitting at my couch looking at the screen like, why did they do that? Like, why did they design the game that way? Like, that's not something I should be thinking while playing the game. But that being said, very happy for the people that love it. I was probably never going to love it to that extent to begin with because I don't like Prime that much. I'm a 2D Metroid guy. So for the fans that do love it, I'm happy for you. But clearly, it's not quite what people wanted overall. I mean, just based on the fact that it's the lowest reviewed one, right? Even with my issues with basically I think all these games have issues. Like, I never would have thought I'd put a Hyrule Warriors game towards the top of my list as like the best new game they released. It's a solid year, right? Like this is a good year. There's a lot of games. To the people saying like, oh, there's no games, that's what makes me scratch my head. You can have issues with the game, certainly. But like, this all released this year. This is a good year in terms of quantity, certainly. The quality maybe could have been a little bit higher. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.